name is Liz Corpany, and I know her from Colorado. Somebody hacked her account and was trying to use her account to get my personal information so that she could hack into my account. Well, Liz Corpany, the person who took over her account, didn't just do that to me. She also did that to my older brother. But unlike me, my older brother is a fucking idiot. What did he do? Well, this fucking nut job that took over Liz's stuff, it's probably because Liz was as dumb as my brother. They claim that they are locked out of their Facebook and they need your phone number to have the message sent to your number. And then when you look at it, you should actually read it. My brother is lazy. Most people are lazy. A lot of people who offered to help, the reason that they didn't really just came down to laziness. They realized they were going to have to read stuff, and holy hell, people don't like doing that, do they? Oh, I got the gray one. Damn it. I don't want to pull out my gray hairs. I like them. So, my older brother, he didn't read it, and it says that it'll unlock your account, not theirs. It didn't say it would unlock Liz Corpany's account. It said it would unlock mine. So I didn't accept it. And I sent that person a message letting them know that I knew they had hacked my friend's account. So what they do, they blocked me. So now I'm blocked from Liz Corpany, although it wasn't Liz who did it. So my older brother, after that, sends me a friend request. So I accept, well, not initially. If he's not willing to talk to me or to listen to me, why send me a friend request? If you're going to ignore me, why? Why send a friend request to blame me for things that you weren't there for? To judge me for things that you weren't there to see? Without hearing my side, making every effort not to hear my side, going out of your way to pretend that I don't exist. And you want to send me a friend request and talk about how me telling the truth is fucking up your buzz. Well, screw you, rabbit. See, here's the thing. You wouldn't have gotten your Facebook taken away by the fake Liz Corpany lady if you'd have not been a fucking moron. You want to pretend that I'm an idiot? When I'm telling you these things, you know, it's not just intuition. I've got a pretty high reading level, don't I, Eric? College reading level at the age of 6. Isn't that right, Eric Christopher Schwartz? I love you more than almost everyone else alive, even knowing that you're a fucking moron. When you're complaining that Lizzie hacked your account, well, shit, you should have recognized that from the start, but you're a fucking moron. You're a moron, Eric. You're a complete and total fucking moron. All that stuff you wanted me to do for you while I was in Boulder, and I did my best to do all of it. You wanted me to call mom and dad and try to explain to them that you needed a house in Boulder, and hopefully they'd buy us a house in Boulder. You know our fucking parents, dude. If mom ever has any extra money, it's going to her. It's either going to buy things that look pretty and make her feel like she's a more upper class than she really is, or it's going up her fucking nose and you goddamn well know it. But I did try. You can imagine how Dad treated me. And guess what, Eric? When you were so fucked up on meth that you couldn't tell up from fucking down, and I was in Virginia and I called Dad try to get some help for you. Holy shit, the way he treated me. It's not that I never cared, Rabbit, it's that you didn't. It's that when you asked for my help, you never got off your ass. When's the last time you had a job, Rabbit? That'd be 2003. 2003 is the last time you had a job. That was 19 years ago. I worked almost the whole time I was in Boulder, Rabbit. People are stupid. They don't listen to the victims. They're too busy with their own opinions, and it doesn't help. When somebody is coming to you about the abuse, the last thing that they need from you is for you to tell them it's not going to work and make zero effort to fucking try. To blow them off for as long as possible, make as minimal effort as possible, months and months and months after the fact, and when it doesn't work, you go, see, I told you it wouldn't work. It didn't work because you fucking wasted your goddamn time and mine. It is your responsibility and duty. If it is not your job, it is your responsibility and duty to inform the public that it's not your job, to inform the police that it's not your job, to make it public that it is not your job. Meanwhile, there's a lot of things that people want to throw in my face because the cops said it must be true. That's the problem with Meg. Just because someone said it must be true? Well, only if it's somebody other than me, because me, she treats like a fucking retard. If those things happen, you do need to come forward. If it's not your job, you need to make it loud and clear to the fucking courts. You need to make it loud and clear to the public. Saying it's on my YouTube channel, that don't make no difference. That's me speaking out, Meg. That's not you speaking out. That's me doing everything that I can to show that I'm telling the truth. Like when you said that it wasn't your job. And I didn't just tell the cops it wasn't your job. I told the public it wasn't your job. Now, obviously, if you're not willing to come forward about it in a police report or to the media, you're not even willing to try, then you're fucking lying. If you're not lying, then write a fucking police report and go to the fucking media with what you fucking know. Instead of trying to play victim after the fucking fact, you goddamn nut job. The things that Meg did to help, she actually did. I'm not going to deny that. I spoke out about the things that she did to help. About how finally, when she finally started actually helping, hell yes, I was so ecstatic. Now, she wanted to keep her name a secret. Well, that just makes it difficult. That just makes it complicated. If you're not willing to speak to the media, that's not my fault. That's not my choice. There's a bunch of stuff that people say is not their fault. It's not my fault either. That's what they're not getting. Then they want to make it my fault. They want to pretend that other things make this situation my fault. They want to pretend that things that they weren't there for or that they intentionally neglected. And then they want to throw those things in my face as if they're fact. Hey, excuse me, says I have been trying to get you to fucking get actively involved. I've been trying to show everyone the evidence. You tell me you're a good person. If you're a good person, you would fucking speak out. You would make more than just a minimal effort. How many police reports? She did write stuff down. Thank goodness lots of stuff was written down, but those people didn't go in person with me to turn that shit in. That's why it never worked. There was a lot of evidence to turn in, and with me having to go to literally cops who had broken the law and not done their job, and everybody's idea is for me to move. I did move. I moved repeatedly over and over again. You keep making that suggestion without having any sort of thought in your head about the costs of that, or how it continues to prevent me from having a steady mailbox and a safe place where I can actually work on this stuff. Look at this. This is everything in my life. Most of it is trash because I don't have a place to throw it away. One business here allowed me to throw away one big bag of garbage. That's understandable. There's all these dynamics that you don't have to endure, so you think it's fucking easy. In your mind, it's easy. I'm going to have to give out Carl Snell's number. I have to give out William Barr's number. I have to give these numbers out because I have to try to turn them into law enforcement, and I have to record it live so that there is proof and evidence that I did try. Now, when I get angry, when they're telling me that they can't do things that they have literally done for others, either it's illegal for them to do it or it's not illegal. If they can do it for others, they can do it for me. If they can work across multiple jurisdictions to try to fucking frame me, then I can show evidence from all of those jurisdictions that that's what they did. Obviously, with these officers doing two very stupid things. Number one, the things that they already railroaded me in court by saying that I was schizophrenic for saying them, pretending that I was crazy for saying them. Well, those detectives in Natalie's case admitted those things. So, well, now that gives me a legal recourse to have my court date over again. That these officers did lie, that they used me telling the truth to claim that I was crazy, to do everything in their power to prevent the evidence that shows I was telling the truth from being shown in court so that they could sell that narrative and get away with their crimes over and over again. Law enforcement is not on your side any more than soldiers are on your side. These soldiers don't know what the United States is like. They joined the military at 18. They know what their mommies and daddies is like. And they get in there and they think that they're fighting for these rights that if they'd have lived in the real world for a few years, they'd have realized it's all fucking bullshit. But they didn't. They went straight into the military. And they went and killed foreign people for rights that we're having taken from us here in this country. And then they get back here, realize that, well, the United States is not mommy and daddy's house. The military was wrong. Everything you were told and taught about the United States is fucking wrong. And then you blow your fucking head off. I respect veterans, not soldiers. If you're currently in the military, I have no respect for you. If you're out of the military and living in the real world, finally, then I can respect you. But not while you're willing to pick up a gun and go shooting people for false fucking narratives. Your mommy and daddy's house is not the United States. That's your mommy and daddy's house. Getting those benefits while you're in the military, that's great. That gives you an advantage that most people in the country don't have. So you get all that money and you go and you kill foreign people for money. And then you come back and you realize that the rights you're selling yourself that you're fighting for, it's all bullshit. You goddamn right I fight for the rights of veterans. I know too many veterans on the streets. One in 8 homeless people were in the military. 1 in 10 of them is a combat veteran. You're damn right I fight for them. They got PTSD too. The what? The land of the free and the home of the brave? Man, flush that fucking song down the toilet. It's bullshit. It may have been true once, but not in my lifetime. Bravery isn't the ability to gang up on somebody who can't defend themselves. Bravery is not ignoring a victim. Bravery is not making empty promises and then blaming the victim when you didn't keep your word. Bravery isn't saying, oh, it's not my job. Bravery is admitting to the world that it's not your job, letting everyone know loud and clear, making sure that you are heard, that it is not your job. Because the general public keeps sending me to you people, not just Megan Mistigatus, but many others, who tell me it is literally not their job. I'm not allowed because of the mentally ill tag, and I'm told that I'm supposed to have these legal recourses because of that. Because I am an at-risk adult, because I am on the highest tiers of the most at-risk people in the country for being victimized. There is supposed to be a guardian and an advocate. My caseworkers were supposed to take care of many of these things and wouldn't even try. Their excuse was it wouldn't work. They wouldn't even try to do as many reporters because they knew this was completely fucked and it wouldn't work. Well, of course it didn't work. They didn't try. I'm overwhelmed. And I'm not sure if you guys can tell that by the way that I'm speaking. But the fact that I'm talking to my phone instead of cutting my wrists or cutting my throat shows you that I'm not trying to kill myself. The fact that I'm not picking up a rifle and going shooting other people shows you that that's not one of my options either. I'm trying to get a day in court. That's what I needed help with. I needed help showing that evidence, and I didn't know how. And instead of helping me, these people who knew how to do these things, who I went to, some of them I even paid massive quantities of money for them to teach me to do these things. And instead of teaching me to do these things, they told me to do these things. Let's say you pay somebody to teach you to speak Spanish. And they take your money and then they tell you, all right, speak Spanish. Go speak Spanish. That's not teaching me. If it is these people's jobs, then they need to do their jobs. If it's not their jobs, they need to let all of these other agencies know loud and clear that it's not their jobs. It's not that I didn't try to communicate it, it's that these people did not try to communicate it to each other. Then, many of these places, I find out later it is their job. It is their job. But they're not going to do their job without someone else there present, because I've been called mentally ill, which I've been explaining since before Natalie was killed. I've been explaining this most of my life. The term mentally ill makes you not only a target, it makes you a target for rampant abuse. Other victims will take it out on you. Their daddy rapes them. They come out there and they take it out on you on the streets. Their daddy rapes them and nobody will listen, so they cut on themselves, and now they're called mentally ill and nobody will listen. And they're angry about it. Nobody will listen, and they go out on the streets and they rail about how horrible men are, when really it's their dad who's horrible. And they treat you like you're probably a rapist or a child molester because you're homeless. Her daddy ain't homeless. He's got a house, and he is a fucking child molester and a rapist, and she fucking knows it. But she knows that she can't come forward or she'll get locked up again. The scars on her arms show that. The scars on her legs show that. The scrapes on her wrist. That's how she started. She started by scraping her wrists with Lady Bick. hoping that someone would listen, that they would take it seriously. But they didn't. Instead, they used the fact that she had to do something so desperate because nobody would listen, nobody would hear her, nobody would do anything about it. And they used the fact that she had to do something so desperate to try to get heard. She had already gone to all the people you tell her to go to, and they all blew her off the same way Marcia Estrada blew me off. The same way that Detective Peterson and Detective Rogers and Detective Hyatt and Detective Erica blew me off. The same way that Scott DaCosta blew me off. When you're called mentally ill, nobody cares. That's what makes nobody fucking care, is that you were called mentally ill. Yes, there are special rights for people who are disabled on paper. On paper, there's special rights for us, but they're not observed. They're not observed unless somebody actually cares enough to take action. Action! Not to make excuses for months and months and months on end. The complications that I had were not because of my actions, they were because of the actions of others, or rather the inactions of others. The whole time I'm taking abuse, I'm trying to turn it into all the people that I'm told to turn it into, and they're telling me it's not their job. Megan Mitsigatis needs to admit the things that I tried to turn into her, because Dual County kept on telling me that's who I needed to turn it into over and over again. And she kept telling me it's not her job. But she didn't tell them for a very long time that it's not her job. I'm being forced to go back to these officers who committed these crimes against me because nobody is making these calls with me or even trying. And then she wants to throw in my face that she eventually did. No, look at everything that happened that I tried to report to you in between day one and when I was arrested. Look at all of the stuff that I tried to turn into you. All that time that you wouldn't even try because it's not your job. And then when you finally did try, there was a lot to catch up on. Just the quantity of abuse and assaults and the threats against my life since I started speaking with Megan Mitsigatis. I mean, this is years after Natalie was killed that I finally was set up with Megan Mitsigatis. She treated me like I was a fucking moron for telling the truth. And eventually, she did finally make that call with me. And she realized that, yeah, she probably shouldn't have been treating me like I was a fucking retard. When you procrastinate and say that you do it because it won't work, you're not even willing to try because it won't work. And then the cops write down in their paperwork something other than that. Well, that wasn't the excuse that you were making, but that's the excuse that the cops made for you. They slandered your fucking name. You should have been subpoenaed. All of these people should have been subpoenaed. Just because they didn't help me doesn't mean that I didn't try. Just because it isn't their job doesn't mean that I didn't go to them and try. When people continued to tell me that I needed to go to these people in these places who told me it wasn't their job, I also looked up whether or not it was their job. In most of these places, it absolutely is. They didn't want to do their job, and they didn't have to do their job because they assumed it was just going to be my word versus theirs. No, I recorded it. But they were able to make it my word versus theirs by allowing me to be harmed repeatedly, making zero attempt to help me to turn it in, and allowing those predators to continue to do the same exact things. Those same officers, that same tiny small town department, over and over again, and it wasn't just Megan Mitsigatis who didn't do shit. It's not that I didn't go to those people. To begin with, I had to go in alone. When finally people were willing to go in with me and at least try, at least they can verify everything that happened while they were there. Molly Smith needs to come forward about what she knows. All of these people knew that my intent was to get a day in court to show the truth, because I was being abused over this slander. And all of them blew me off. Most of them promised that they would help me, but then, like, let's bring up Teresa Orn. Called me up drunk. 5 conversations in a row, going back for years. She wanted to talk to me about her drunk husband. Multiple occasions when we were going to meet up, because she was so sad about her dead husband. And we organized it and set it up for us to meet, and I got there, and, well, she was too drunk to do anything. Too drunk to meet anyone. So I made a wasted trip and didn't even get to see her. Then after Natalie's dead, this is conversation number 4 and number 5, I believe, where she's calling me up and saying that she wants to help me, and instead she's giving me drunken advice and talking about her dead husband because she's fucking drunk. I'm not allowed to bring up the fact that these people are alcoholics or I'm a horrible person. Meanwhile, I'm getting treated like I'm an alcoholic or a drug dealer. The people who are actually drug addicts and drug dealers. Natalie Bollinger, in her own words, was the drug dealer. Kayla Trujillo, in her own words, recorded on my YouTube channel, is a drug dealer. Also, multiple people verified that Ken Wilson and Leah Plunkett are both drug dealers. That includes Tabitha Michelle Cook and Jayhawk. Jayhawk is missing now. He's been missing for months. He's recorded on my YouTube channel talking about the human trafficking in Colorado and some of the murders. If I had a steady place with some peace and fucking quiet, I could make these phone calls without being completely flustered and frustrated. Having to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and hope my shit doesn't get stolen. Meanwhile, I can't function, and that's why I'm speaking. Help. I can't do these things myself. I'm not allowed. The mentally ill tag means I'm not allowed. They won't let me. These rights that you keep telling me that I have, they're not observed because you don't fucking care. Lots of people around the world care. They care because they heard the slander, and only the slander, because you guys didn't try speaking out about what you knew. You made me record it and post it on the internet.